Hello, governors. Welcome to the Roxy Files. And no, I do not have my voice back yet.
Bless your heart.
We're on week 3 of it's gone. It's a daily struggle to speak.
There. Hurry.
Welcome,
Mute.
everybody. Tonight we have myself,
Lagger.
we have Shannon. Oh, wrong way.
And I
Shannon.
can't hear you.
Now you can't hear me. It's a disaster. And we have Lisa. She is a guest with us tonight. She comes. Oh my gosh, Lisa, my brain just went blank.
Okay.
Tell them about your channel.
Okay. Waking God's Child. Yeah, I have a YouTube channel called Waking God's Child. I've been on for about 15 years or so. Been shut down, and I had quite a few thousands and thousands of subscribers. Shut me down, brought me back up. As of many of us have experienced. So here I am.
It's almost a little disturbing how many people are coming back after all of their stuff was taken, and now they're not like
My numbers
filtering.
won't grow. Yeah.
No, yeah, Daniel
I
sent us.
sense a sigh.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah.
Daniel sent us one while ago where the guy's got like a 500,000 followers, and he's barely getting 200 on live.
Yeah, after they
It,
shut me down the first time, it's funny. I tell people all the time are telling me, I subscribed to your channel. I subscribed. I watched. But yet, when you go look at the stats, it doesn't reflect anything changing at all. And I have way more I know now than I did have then. So, but it's showing me I have like a little under 3,000 subscribers, where it was at 50 something thousand at one time, and then they've taken me down 3 times. So, but it doesn't stop.
For any of you guys out there watching, you want to know who's really speaking truth out there? Check out that. Look at the stats. Find out, who's actually being suppressed, because then they're speaking about things that
absolutely.
to hear. So
The ones that was grabbing no traction, we're the ones that are being the loudest and being pushed the hardest, I do believe.
You are 100% on that one. And if you have problems even interacting, whether it be technical or
Oh yeah, absolutely.
technological, human 2.0 type thing, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, they work hard on us. They do. They work
They
hard
work
to
hard.
stop us from communicating, but it doesn't stop us. So,
that's right. Not gonna stop.
Well, one of the things I think they've been working on suppressing is something that is blue. So that's why the title tonight is "Do You Blue?"
yeah.
There's a story that kind of goes behind how my blue fascination started about a year ago. We're not going to go into that because I'll sound ultra crazy when I give that whole hallucination that I had a year ago about blue. But I,
That's my favorite color, so I don't think you'll sound crazy. Not to me, anyway.
well, a year ago, I told Daniel, and I think we talked about it on a show or two. I kept having these I'm not one to dream a lot. If I do, I don't remember it. But this was multiple nights in a row. I saw the same thing, and it would wake me up, and I would be sick, like nauseous, like seasick kind of feeling. I would start out, and I was standing in a desert looking at a side profile of the Sphinx, and there was something red above it. But then all of a sudden, it's like the air was sucked out of the room, and I was just kind of like vacuuming backwards at high
Hmm.
speed. And then it was like I compare it to the slides that went in the slide projector that our parents had with the film in it. But it was like they were multiple, like random, one after the other, and it was the same thing over and over.
Pulsating, right?
Yes, and when I would wake up, I would just be physically nauseated from the motion sickness of it. So I got obsessed with blue, and I couldn't figure out what this blue was and what I was seeing. And I took it all the way back to Egypt and before. Their fascination with blue, blue clothes, blue flowers, blue makeup, blue idols. Like all of their little idols that they made were out of lapis lazuli. Everything was blue. So then when the methylene blue video come across today, and I'm like, there's your
That
blue.
is.
And it's
Well, there you
just
go.
as much as the chemical compound of what it does as the frequency of the color blue and what that frequency does inside of your body. And
Or
that's
the
how
blue
they
room.
knew it.
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you're saying. Even the Sphinx that you just gave the example of, like an ongoing movie with the flashing, almost like strobe light effect
Yeah,
that makes
and
you nauseous. Yeah, it's crazy that you said that. I've had similar. Have you have you experienced that, Soul Seven?
With the blue specifically, not necessarily. I've had a different type of a situation, like in, my testimony where, I had a lot of visions and things along those lines. And definitely the whole nauseous thing and disorientation was all part of that. A lot of, prophetic things. And I've had this one crazy dream, but it was more along the lines of opening the bottomless pit. But it repeated 3 times in a flash. And so something similar, but not quite. So I'm really intrigued on this blue thing because, again, my background, I was all into the new age stuff, and as evil and awful as most of that is, it's all Luciferian based. There are some truths about things about eating, natural foods with certain colors when you're not feeling well or you're lacking a certain nutrient or ability in your everyday life. And so, eating whole foods in specific colors were very important in that kind of aspect. And there's a lot of truth to those things. So those are one of the few things that I still kind of adhere to. And a lot of the stuff that I learned, because there's truth to it, and they were on to something, with whole foods, organic, and color frequencies.
Frequencies.
Yeah.
everything's frequency.
Mhm.
So, give us an idea of your experience with it.
Yes.
Okay,
Give us
so
more
I
background.
don't guess we told them exactly what this blue thing is, what we're talking about, but we're speaking of methylene blue, correct?
Yes.
That, so I'm just going to show you. This is my experience of what I started with, and I actually have a whole thing on that I was actually putting on my own channel at one time. But if you want, we'll just put it here, and I can read you part of this because to rattle it off the top of my head, I would probably come across as a psychotic person that has literally issues licking windows, wearing a helmet at the same time with Crayolas up my nose or something. But
You're on the
to
bus
read
with
it,
us then.
I mean, I look good in a helmet. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just kidding. But, so basically, I've highlighted the important parts. So I mean, people call it the miracle molecule, and these are molecules. It is synthetic, so it is the same as medicine. They would consider this medicine. It's been around for decades, and basically what it does is when the blood cannot oxygenate or get enough oxygen to carry it that basically it comes in as a biochemical helper, and it helps carry that blood and the oxygen within it. It's supposed to help prolong memory or help restore memory as well. There's a lot that's said about it. So mostly though, they say like people will take a minimum dosage to start out, and some might notice something, some may not. But the thing is, it's supposed to restore memory cells, and it's almost like if I had to explain it, when I take it, when I first started, I mean, I'm always like, small increments of everything, because if you don't know, you don't know. But I'm a guinea pig, and with Morgellons disease, if that's what one wants to call it, because I think it's just one very small piece of a massive puzzle. But what I'll say is I've put myself out there time and time again. And so this is one of the things that I have done, and I continue to do so. When I first encountered methylene blue, approximately, I think it was like 5 years ago, I looked everywhere for it. I could not find it anywhere. I mean, I looked and looked, even Amazon, I couldn't find it on Amazon. But I did finally find it like about a year and a half ago. Amazon did start carrying it, but you want to look for the FDA approved, as well as the labs that it's been created in is very important because of cleanliness and whatnot. And I am not a doctor, so in no way would I give any type of medical advice. A disclaimer here. and none of us three are recommending anything. This is, specifically for entertainment and, observational purposes on, you decide for yourself. But what I do notice is clarity. When I take that, and about a 20 milligram dose is typically what I've noticed, the drops versus the capsules or the gummies or the gels, is you'll have about an hour's worth of clarity. That's the kicker. It's not like it's, an extended period of time. So in other words, it needs maintenance. And that's the downfall of it, in my opinion. It does help people with Alzheimer's. It does help people with any type of, well, I'm not saying all people, but psychosis or even brain injuries, things that have, when your brain is not functioning to its utmost respect, it helps replace oxygen. Oxygen is everything. When we yawn, we're replacing oxygen and putting it within the medulla oblongata, so to speak. So what happens is that with the oxygenated portion of that, putting that into your bloodstream, it's carrying that, and it's almost like a quick rush. For an hour, though, I mean, it carries on, and you feel. So have you ever had an IV where you're getting, say, vitamin B shots or vitamin B IV or something to that? So when you could feel that immediately enter your bloodstream, correct?
Right.
That's how this
Absolutely.
is. Now, that's just with the liquid drops. That's why, this one is called ActiBlue. I've tried the capsules. I've tried the gummies. Notice absolutely no difference at all. Just a waste of money. Don't waste your time, in my opinion. But the drops, again, 20 milligrams for me. I'm 108-pound girl. You do the math, and it doesn't really matter about your weight either. It matters about what your body is chemically made up and how it's, going to react to it. But you'll know when you get there, but start little. Don't go big and go home right away. So, but I do notice that it does work. And then 30 milligrams tops, I think, is what I reached. And then that lasts about 2 hours. But when you're still battling that constant brain fog, and I'm sure many of you understand what that brain fog is, how severe it is, and just the memory lapses, and like, oh my gosh, how did I forget that, scheduled doctor's appointment, or, just things that aren't typically you. As I think, obviously everyone's experiencing that to some respect these days, and the heavy metals being a big portion of that to blame, as well as, look at our food plates. We've got a lot more on our plates these days than anyone ever had. We're having to work multiple jobs, many of us, and times 3, and then you put in the heavy metals and the constant what the heck WTH is going on. And you're going to have some brain fog. You're going to have, in my case, sometimes I wonder if I haven't lost all my cells, but it does help with that.
Much less the chemicals in the water, the chemicals in the food, the ones they're spraying above you. It's coming at you from every
goes
direction.
up must come down. So,
and the frequency bombardment we're getting through all the towers, the technology, everything in the surroundings.
Back to the blue. Yes.
Right. And what I find fascinating about this, especially in the realm of memory, right? It's interesting to me that this is kind of such a controversial, suppressed kind of subject matter, you know what I mean, with this color frequency and this stuff being such a big help when it's unlocking memory and helping with the brain fog, when that's kind of a part of what they've been pushing on us for so long. And a lot of us who have come out of, like, say, certain programs in schools, or others said certain programs, or even just watching your daily programs on your television sets, all of those kinds of things.
All programming.
It's all programming. Imagine if we were more able to connect our memories back and not be so foggy and have that.
We unplugged.
Dangerous.
Unplug.
Yeah,
that would be dangerous.
We unplugged from the matrix. Some of them are still plugged in, but we did unplug there. With some of them, I think I unplugged. I short-circuited somewhere in there. Though, there's something to that. Like she's saying, frequency is everything, yes, but the blue roofs in Maui, the what burned, what didn't. There's something to blue always, which again, with Egypt and the favorite color and that too, I get it, but there's a reason that was their color, and I believe it was the frequency that it carried, and I'm
Well,
sure
there
that's
was
what
a
you were getting
particular
at.
flower. Yeah, there was a
Hmm.
particular flower that they used to dye garments with. And
Right,
they had whole like pools
it's got a lot
of
of
where
that
they
in.
would steep this flower in there and they would bathe in it. And there's some of them that have blue tinted skin. And I know the
There's a
iodine
good
thing, you can
reason
put
for that.
iodine. Yeah. When you put iodine on your arm, depending on how long it takes to go away,
Hmm.
lets you know how deficient you are. So they understood that this organic blue was creating some kind of vitality in their body. When they started turning not blue again, they went back and got more. They got in the water.
Blue lapis or lapis, whatever you want to say that. I mean, all the blue stones, the crystals. Okay, and I went there temporarily into that new age stuff as well, and I wouldn't even call it new age. I would call it ancient, right? The all
Right.
the crystals and whatnot, but there is something to that. There is something into what they call healing stones or powers. But I mean, that's the thing. It is within a lot of different variations in our life, not just stones. I mean, it's in trees, it's in flowers, it's in, I mean, the earth itself is breathing. In my own opinion, I can feel it, if that makes sense. Sometimes you can feel life everywhere.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But the color blue, think about what color is the sky, and we know that it's just a reflection of blue, being that, they say, and all we can go off of is what they say, but we know that, there's something to that. It makes us happy usually when we see the color blue, the ocean's blue. Well, it comes across as that, but I mean, no matter what, in the end, when you're seeing houses not burn and disintegrate into absolutely nothing left that you can identify, and others that have a blue roof, especially a certain tone of it still standing, that should be enough said right there. I mean, the truth speaks for itself without, but here we are having to explain it. So it's a
Well,
crazy world
and
we're living in.
civilization after civilization always have this major blue theme in their artwork, in their idols, in
100%.
their yeah, in their clothing, in what we
Greek
can find.
mythology, or if it's not mythology, yep, blue everywhere.
I was actually gonna say before you even brought that up, and I was like, "This is a perfect segue." Sorry, I'm a nerd. I
No, no,
do,
I love it.
but it's interesting because the ancient Greeks, for a period of time, couldn't even see the color blue, and
Right.
then when that color actually became visible to them, that was one of their that's part of their flag. I mean, it's blue and white everything. I mean, they paint their houses blue and white, okay?
I've been to Greece. I've been to Greece multiple times, and everything's blue there. Yes.
Right, but for a period of time they couldn't see the color blue. I mean, I don't
I don't think
know enough
anyone
about that, but huh?
I don't think anyone could. If you think about it, back in the day, I don't think colors registered. I don't think our chemical beings were at that point where it was, because color is not really a thing, I guess, so to speak. It's all
Mhm,
chemically related in interaction with
mhm.
the brain. What do you call it? The brain. It's called. I cannot. It's right on the tip of my tongue, and of course, I'm going to forget
I
it now.
don't even
But
know
I
that.
mean, none of the colors actually exist anyway, right? But
Right.
the mind, there's a chemical reaction that once the mind is triggered, it starts to see in color. And I forget who. There was a philosopher that had spoken years ago. Yeah, I mean, we're talking like 1700s. There was a book on colors, and he was trying to explain, and it actually made sense. And why can I not think of this? Because I just actually happened to pick up the book in an old antique store, and I was just thumbing through it. I'm like, this is really something, and I should have bought this stupid thing, and I don't know why I did not. But it was explaining it really perfectly about how it's perception. Everything we do and see is perception and perceived, but not everyone, like what's blue to us or red to us, may not even be that same color to another. Does that make sense? So
Yes.
like you and I are seeing blue, but the other person that thinks blue is actually pink to us,
Well,
something
that's
like
the
that.
whole thing with the dress that was on Facebook and TikTok. Like, what color is this dress?
Blue or
It all
gold?
depends upon the frequency that you
Or yeah,
perceive it.
100%. And it's just that the mind is a beautiful, beautiful, complex thing, is it not? But we have what I call the God particle, there with that God. Some of it called the third eye, but I mean, we have this. We have the angel, the devil, and then I guess what one would say the Holy Spirit running through us, so to speak, and a choice can be wavered either way, from one way or the other. It's whatever, because there's the free will there, right? So you might perceive different colors different ways as another, just due to whichever one they're speaking to, but you still have that one straight up particle, which they call what they call it, the junk DNA, which is not junk
Oh,
DNA at all.
no.
I think that there's just a whole mess and slew of, you know, complex material makeup that decides who's seeing what, and in fact, what works on who. For instance, methylene blue, right? And I think a lot of us have it right here. If you believe something is working, it's probably going to work, right? I mean, have you ever been able to manifest certain things with that, or just think about something, you want it so bad, and then all of a sudden it happens? And I wouldn't say like you're magical, because there's nothing magical, but I mean, there's a certain portion of us that I mean, been told we have these spiritual gifts, correct? And haven't you seen that happen when you thought about something really hard and
Oh,
it just
absolutely.
represents itself all of a sudden, and there it is? It's like, how did that happen?
It's
And I
all about
mean,
the focus of your attention. If you
your
focus your
intent,
attention
exactly.
on that
Yeah,
positive outcome, it will outcome that way. But in the moment you
100%.
get into your own brain and start going, I can't do that, or I'm just going to fail again, or I'm just going to screw up, you have already talked yourself into a way to make an excuse to not
And
complete
that's
it.
frequency. There you go. That's
Absolutely.
probably color blue and the color red versus the other, right? One or the other. Who knows?
That's why all casinos have red carpet. They want you to stop
Yeah,
and be still
Yeah.
and
I
stay right
find
where
yeah.
you're at.
I
You're
find a lot
100%.
of time. Oh, sorry.
No, I think
I
that's right, ladies. I don't know. Shannon, I know I've heard you speak some on the frequencies before. And
I
I
just
just know that there's something to it. So
yeah, I think too, like when it comes to things that manifest, with things that you're putting a lot of your thought and energy into, like when those things really happen to me, it's usually when I've been kind of at my wit's end and I've given up something to God, to the Most High, and then if this be your will, if this be your will. And then that's when I start seeing the fruits of the things that I've been putting
yeah,
my thoughts and prayers into. And it's about, I wouldn't even say submission. It's kind of a not the best word to say, but it's like when I've given up on all these other stupid
well, I think
things that
submission's
don't,
good.
right? But
Yeah,
it's like that's kind of when I see those things manifest in my life. So I mean, I feel like it's all glory to the Most High in
to
that
let go and let God,
right.
right?
But it's the ability of accepting God's will and God's gifts,
Humbling
and that
yourself.
you are worthy of that, and being in that positive space for that, and accepting God's will and his gifts. Because a lot of the times that's a big part of what Satan is always trying to do to us, is trying to tell us
100%.
we're not good enough, trying to tell us that we are not capable of these things. And we, a lot of the times, like, I mean, I've been going through a good couple of days, I tell you. And,
Feel
you
it,
know, so
girlfriend.
I'm just like, okay, I'm giving it up to you. And the second that happened, something good was like,
I'm there
okay,
right now, so I feel it. I
like, all
get it.
right, I can breathe. I can take on all that other nonsense because, just gave it
Broad
up to you.
shoulders, little body, broad shoulders, something like that. Yeah.
built
Well, I
sturdy.
can tell both of you women are very strong, and you can very much see the creator in both of you. And I think it's beautiful that
Thank
there are
you.
more
This
voices out there doing this. I'm really
is
proud of you too. Really, I
this is
am. It's a breath of fresh air.
this is
So,
why I was seeking you out, because I feel the same way about you. I cannot speak
thank
for
you.
Roxy, but I think she feels the same way. But
You
Absolutely.
guys
you,
are so
and of course, you know, your amazing co-host, and everything, your stories and your journey and your strength through all of that is such an inspirational story, and your
thank you.
testimony is amazing. So your strength in the Most High is just unbelievable with what you've been
Thank
through too.
you.
So
You have no
I
idea how much I just meant. Like, sorry, I'm like, thank you for those words. I mean, really, truly, thank you. I think we all have this beautiful journey that we're on, and we're all unsure. We don't know where the road leads, right? None of us know. We just know that sometimes the pathway gets bumpy and it goes off the beaten track, and then there's thorn bushes, and then there's valleys, and there's ridges, and there's cliffs, and there's you know an absolute void of anything. But for whatever reason, we persevere and we keep going through it, and we get through it, and we know what that reason is. And it's not that we're so amazing, it's that we humbled ourselves, we submitted, and we let go, and we let God, and we had that faith. We had that faith, therefore we gained the strength to carry on and go on, and persevere. And you have to be broken first before you can ever be repaired.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, and no good soldier ever goes to war without first going through boot camp, to begin with. I mean, if you want to win a battle, you're going to go through some major boot camp. And I mean, it's a blessing in disguise. It's a horrible blessing in disguise, but it is a worthy lesson. I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change any of the horrible things that have happened. I say horrible because they were horrible, but there's a beautiful blessing in everything. If you look for it, you can see it. It's there. There's all sorts of blessings.
You have to look for the glimmer and not the trigger because it'll
There you
change your
go.
perspective on the whole world around you.
You are so, that was beautifully said. Yes.
Well, and it's like you go somewhere and you're like, oh man, this traffic is horrible. And every time you turn around, there's just too many people.
Beep beep, giving the bird.
Right.
They're
But the
always
whole
gone.
next time you go somewhere and you start to do that, everybody, instead of complaining about that traffic, when you're stopped in that
Be
traffic,
thankful
take
you're
a
going
second.
through it.
Yeah. Be thankful
Yeah.
you're going through it and that you might be moving slow, but at least you're moving. Look
Okay,
around
so
you.
I'm a
Find a
PI, and that is that. I'm sorry to interrupt, but you have no idea. I have to go through Houston traffic daily as a PI. Okay. And you have no idea how many people, they're so mean, they're so hateful, they're so rude. And I've also got a subject I'm following, right? And I mean, I can't lose that subject. I mean, that's how I feed my family and put bread on my table. But I like what you just said. You have to be in the moment. And I actually have learned, and I'm proud of myself, because I mean, I'll tell you what, there have been times that I curse one way up, it's one side and down the other, just like, what is wrong with you? Move the heck out of the way. And then I'm thinking, they might have lost their wife last night. She might have went into a nursing home, or that mother's son might have ran away last night. You don't ever know what someone else is
no.
going through. And then when you put yourself into that place where you can try to, and you'll never be able to wear someone else's shoes. They'll never fit. They're worn and tattered differently. They're going to be lopsided, holes in them, and the rest of everything else ugly that goes with those shoes. But at least by trying to put them on, you might change your perspective on how you treat that person, and
Absolutely.
honestly soften your heart and your understanding, and realize that, you know what, it's a job. And if they fire me for that, or if this happens for that reason, it was still worth it because I had compassion. And that's something that you can't buy with any kind sort sense of money or
Well,
gold or
and
jewelry or anything. So
when you're in that big of a hurry and you're that angry and you're just in this
yeah, I've
volatile,
had
I gotta
guns in my
go,
face. Yeah.
just take a moment, that one moment when you're stopped at a red light, look around, find something beautiful, find something you've never noticed before. Look at a
Yeah.
new car that you've never seen before or admire the color of it.
Or call your best friend.
Oh,
Hang on, I have a
yes.
grandbaby in here. Hang on 1 second, guys.
I did that.
Oh.
I did that to her earlier, so I was like,
Oh,
she's like, it's
I love it.
okay.
I miss my grandbabies. My grandbabies are in Oregon. I gotta go see them again.
We are currently on a quest because she needs long socks, which means she's come down here to ask Nana to borrow her Waffle House socks. I have special Waffle
Oh,
House socks. I knew she had Waffle socks ends in her.
and you're probably so kind to let her have them, huh?
Hang
How
on, we
cute.
got to show the Waffle House socks now. These were my daughter every year for Christmas. She says, "Mom, you're so hard to buy for." So she finds me strange things, and I went through this obsession with Waffle House. They're actually
That's
Waffle House socks.
funny you say that's where I've been running my surveillance for the past 6 months on a certain case. So it's
we
just
don't really
synchronicities.
we don't really have a whole lot of those down here in Southern California. So, I mean,
Yeah,
there's
no,
some,
there's not.
but it's like I went to Louisiana once and was like, oh, okay, I get it
All
now.
night long. They have good breakfast. They do. Like I said, if I
That
wasn't
was
surveillancing the place, I would have already been eating there. So,
Well, see,
but
down in the South, we have a whole thing. As far as storms and hurricanes, we have what we call the Waffle House meter. If the Waffle House is closing down, you better get your crap and get out of town.
I love
As
it.
long as the Waffle House is open, we are all safe. It is all
Well,
good.
this Waffle House that I've been on as far as watching it's fine as far as the restaurant goes. It is sound. It's just what's going on behind the thing that I'm worried about. So that's hilarious. I don't know, but Waffle Houses are good, and those socks are actually amazing. I didn't even know they sold such a thing. So, and I
I
love me
didn't
some good
either until I
socks.
got them for Christmas. My daughter comes up with something odd
I love
every
it.
year. I think that was Christmas before last.
I like some good socks like that. That's for sure.
Oh,
That's
this
for sure.
Christmas was furry dice for my truck, but it's actually like little miniature stuffed Mountain Dews that look like
Oh,
furry dice. Yeah,
how cute is that? How cute.
she knows I'm odd. I appreciate myself being
You know
odd,
what? I'd rather be odd than even. So I know
and
that's not.
even does
There you
not
go.
seem
There
to
was
be the
some
side to
oddness
be
right
on.
there. That's
I
good.
just think we're special and very unique. Nothing wrong with being unique.
I love that.
Absolutely not.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't have many friends to say the least because nobody gets me, but it's
No,
okay. I get me. God gets me.
I talked to a friend I hadn't talked to in a while, and I had to take some personal accountability and responsibility for some damage I done to that relationship over a relationship caused a friendship to. Anyway, I took that responsibility, but
Wait, who are we talking? You're not talking to me, right?
no, no, no.
Friend. Yeah.
I was like, okay, gotcha. Okay.
And
See, told you.
when I was talking to her, we hadn't talked in a while, and so all of a sudden it's just like blah, 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 and she's like, "Whew, that's a lot."
Picking up where you left off, though. That's good.
Well, I might have come on a little strong because I come straight out the gate with the satanic pedophile thing. I probably should have eased into it a little more before I
It's
went to
hard
full
not
on
to.
McDonald's land.
I'm that lady. I've always been that lady. It's okay. And I was just gonna say, girl, you are
Which is why
now
I have
officially
no friends
one of
because I'm
our
that girl
friends.
too. So,
I'm like, you are now officially one of our friends. So welcome.
thank you, because I'm always like,
Our
our
friends.
friend. Like, oh my gosh. No, I'm serious though. Sometimes it just comes right out, and it's just like that wasn't me. That was the Holy Spirit. I'm just like, no. But I mean,
My
for real,
bad.
some of the stuff is not me. Especially when it sounds wise. I'm not smart. I'm not even kidding. Like some of the things I know isn't because of me. So if that makes sense.
No,
But
you
also some things
honestly,
I say, that's
I've had
good.
many moments where I go, "How did I know that?" Or like, "Where did that come from?"
Yes,
Oh,
exactly. I don't even know. Like everyone's like, that's a great video you did, or, whatever. And I'm like, you have no idea that I'm not that smart. I know what I'm thinking and what I want to say, but I mean, even some of that stuff, you wake up one day just knowing. And that's when I realized what the Holy Spirit actually was,
I've had a
it's like,
couple of videos, like mine and Shannon's time difference screws us up because I'm up 3 or 4 hours before she is. So by the time she gets up, I'm running around in circles, like losing my noodle because I can't tell anybody what I figured
I'm in the
out.
middle of you too, huh? I'm in Texas, so I'm from New Mexico though, so I used to be on the West
Well,
Coast
and
time.
I've got
But
up a couple of times and just popped on and done a live and was just going to talk for like 10 minutes. And it ends up being like an hour and a half of just this vomit of information that you got to get out and you don't know where it come from, but you went
Candy
and looked
called it
it up
diarrhea
and it's
mouth.
right. Right. And you go and look it up and you're like, that's right. But how did I know that?
For real.
Why did those puzzle pieces go together all of a sudden? But yeah, it's
It's
wild.
strange how it happens. I mean, it just connects perfectly, and how you knew it, you don't know, but and then you find out later it connects to even bigger pieces. It's like I said, everything that's going on is one gigantic, large, massive, overpriced puzzle, to say the least. But it all fits and it interconnects, and I mean, like, literally all of it interconnects. It is the
Every bit of
strangest
it.
thing. It
And then
really is. It's not like there's one conspiracy or this or that. It's all a massive single, and it's just hard for some to see,
well,
apparently.
and just like today, we were talking about blue. So I decided rather than just saying methylene blue, I wanted to go and look at blue throughout civilizations in history and what did they think about it? What did they write about it? What was their perspective on blue chemicals or blue dyes? Every single one of them just about it had something. And every single one of them
Blue's a
would
comforting color as well, though. There's a lot
And
about blue.
one of the primary colors too. Red,
Yep.
blue,
There you go.
yellow. Mhm.
well, almost every single
Frequency
culture
isn't what
out
it
there
is, though.
Well, almost every single culture out there coordinates blue with immortality and physical protection. And I found this doctor online. I sent it to Shannon earlier. Let me see if I can find his channel. He has the most amazing video, and it's scientific, but it's in a very easy to understand. Like it's got the raw science and the papers where they've researched the methylene blue, what it does to your body, what the side effects can be, how you should guide yourself through it.
Like 3 pages here, yeah. And it
It's
does. You're right. It says a lot about it, but I also wrote some stuff that I think it might pertain to as well. But I don't swear by it. I just feel it. Does that make sense? Like there's just some other things going on with it that make me, I don't know, have to wonder. And I'll run that by you ladies another time, because it might be overwhelming. So
well, this guy right here, I just stumbled upon him today. His name is Dr. Paul Anderson, but he's got lots of stuff on here. But the way he breaks down the actual scientific, what it does, how it does it, it was a very interesting listen. The way he broke it down and explained it and explained what the positives were and the negatives of it, and how you should
yeah.
start with it.
Yeah, and again, I agree. I actually watched a ton of those in the beginning when I first started, because I wasn't even sure how many milligrams, how many, whatever dosage at all. But what I've found is that everybody is different. Everybody's different. Everybody. That is the main thing that I've noticed, because some say, oh, it's completely ineffective to me, or I noticed a little bit, but not. But what I was going to say is, with me, and most people too, I did notice it's like a 1 to 2 hours up at most of beneficial clarity. But I mean, you got to think of it this way: we're fighting something that's constant. It's a constant factor in our life with the heavy metals and the toxicities in general, which is in our food, in our air, in our water, and everything, for entertainment purposes only, for the benefit of this channel and every other channel. But of course, you've got to factor in the logic there before the authority. There you go. But I mean, the logic in the whole thing is what goes up must come down. If it's coming down, it's factoring into all of those three elements that we need to thrive and live, most certainly. And so, until we can figure out a way to incorporate it into, incorporate other things into probably as above, so below, so to speak. I'm hoping you can read between my lines here because I've got to keep it crystal
Girl,
clear.
let me tell you, we say everything on here, everything out loud.
Okay.
We just don't
Your
even give a
channel
hoot.
is it's your channel, so I'm going to be very, very careful because I know what they did to mine a few times. So, but again, this is just live action role play, right? We're just
Yep.
we're just simple discussion. It's okay. But yeah,
Theory.
so but if we could factor in things like rain some vinegar down, things that we know deteriorate heavy metals, also fungal components, also to me, in my mind, that makes a lot of sense. But vinegar smells like vinegar. But I
And
mean, there's got to be
oil.
something.
Coconut
What's that?
oil or coconut water,
I mean, there
coconut
could be a mixture, right? But
heavy
why aren't
metals,
we doing that?
right? But
Yeah.
here's the thing, because you were mentioning that everybody's different, and it all really depends on your deficiency, like what you're deficient in frequency. And here's
I
the
mean,
thing, right?
no.
With like, how often are you sitting in front of a computer screen? Because this will make a difference. There's the blue light that's constantly on your screens, on these things, on your computer, on your TV.
Blue.
So they have the blue blocker, glasses for that, because, and it's
Well, I do the
interesting,
opposite.
right? Well, the guy, right, who was the video you had showed me earlier, Roxy, he was explaining how if you take it before night, you might be up all night. It's kind of like a caffeine kind of a thing. And the same effect happens if you're watching your screen right before you go to bed. You're supposed to actually turn it off like a good 30 minutes to an hour before you try to go to sleep, because if not,
Yeah.
you will still continue to stay up and you'll turn things off, but you can't sleep for a good hour or so. And for women, we're already on that level, so it just makes things
Yeah,
Well,
well,
see,
and
the
the
crazy
methylene blue is serotonin. The serotonin components in the methylene blue, it's tons of
oh,
serotonin. So
that's what I was gonna go through with you guys, and I forgot about it.
So I think it really depends, like what your job is, how much time you're on your screen, what frequencies you're getting on a daily basis, to how much you want to utilize in this, and what you're going to need. So I do think it's important to keep the doses minimally and going from there, depending on the person, because you just don't know
that's
what
exactly right. That's what I did.
frequency, right? But
Yeah.
the benefits of these things can be really amazing, and it really is important on how you utilize it and what time periods of the day you utilize it. All of these things should be explored so we can understand and use these frequencies to our advantage, and
Yeah.
actually heal.
Well,
you
let me give
know
you a little exploration. I decided when I went down this path today, I wanted to figure out, all right, the patent on methylene blue went free 100 plus years ago.
Mm-hmm.
They made stuff from it.
1876.
They made stuff from it. The number one thing they made from it, Thorazine, Phenergan, Compazine,
Mm-hmm.
Prolixin, Trilofon.
Came from a
Uh,
dye and then went to those. Yeah.
yep. They figured out using this dye in different things. They started putting the dye in the meds they were giving at the psychiatric hospitals to
And
make
it
sure
was
that the
working.
patients were taking their medicine because it makes your pee turn blue. They were just putting the blue in the other
Yeah.
meds to
It
make sure
does.
they weren't spitting them out, and it started fixing the damn psychosis. So
Yeah.
then they figured out that the methylene blue, it was like the Viagra was made for blood pressure, and they figured out it done everything or other things.
I didn't know that. Maybe I need some of that. My blood pressure is through the roof. Yeah, women's Viagra.
I think Viagra was to raise your blood pressure. I think is what it was.
Oh,
For
because I'm
people,
like through the roof
That would
already.
probably be for me. I have like hardly any blood pressure. That's my
Oh,
problem.
my high number is always in the 200s, and my low is always in the 100s. Always, always, always. So,
well, most of
yeah,
your
it's bad.
SSRIs are founded on methylene blue.
Yep. Do you know
Most
there's
of
a
them,
relationship between that and consciousness? They're trying to.
yes, yes.
So that was where I was going with it, but I'm like, maybe I shouldn't mention that. But there's a deeper aspect to that methylene blue, and which is why when you mentioned the psychosis in the patients, I'm like, well, she went there. So, but yeah, there's a lot to do with that. Yeah, the
It makes
color blue, and
everything work a lot better. It
mhm.
literally gets in your mitochondrial DNA and
Yep,
starts the process of creating more energy, which creates a
that's
more
that blood
effective trash
carrying
system.
factor. Yeah,
It
no,
it
you're
just
right.
it disposes of all the trash in your system, all those trash molecules that pile up in there and make cancer and tumors. This just forces it right on out. It like opens the trash chute, flushes.
I'm telling you that is my biggest go-to for myself has been the ivermectin and the fenbenzynol. Those are the two that I can say is my constant. The only reason I'm still alive right now, because if you would have seen me about 10 years ago, I was not going to make it. But this has been
Yeah,
more or less my maintenance type of. So what got me better, and which has got a lot of my people better with those that had cancer even, was the two that I just mentioned. And again, this is for entertainment purposes only, and this is live action role play. So, but this has been a maintenance for me, which has helped a lot with maintaining with what I have going on with my body. Which again, people call it Morgellons disease. To me, it's more like a syndrome, but to me, it's more complex than that. It's more like Havana syndrome, along those lines. But that methylene blue has been my maintenance course. I would like to say in a sense, but the ivermectin or the fenbenzynol has been the only reason I'm not dead yet. Are those that is the only That's the only reason I'm sitting here right now, and I can swear by it because if you saw me what I was, I would be dead. I should be dead. I should not be here, and that saved my life. So then later on, again, I saw this, and this has been more like a maintenance type. So, and I use this along with, some other things, tea tree oil on the outside, just different things. But that's been a good internal maintenance right there because of the mitochondria and the
And tea tree oil too, in combination, helps with
yeah,
the fungal things because
right, exactly.
fungus is another thing that we don't really talk about. There's parasites and then there's fungus.
The
There's good
fungus is the biggest portion to me.
right. And that's
Yeah,
something we should do some more exploration on,
I'm
Roxy.
doing it.
But
The vinegar, that's why I was mentioning that. So
I was going to ask if you wouldn't mind kind of sharing with our audience just a little brief background of your experience with
sure.
Morgellons, or what
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
to give
So
a little background.
do you,
Yeah, I mean,
you want like how it first started happening, or
how, yeah, a brief just kind of synopsis
gotcha.
of
Okay.
your journey with it, so the audience kind of understands a little bit like where you're
Sure,
coming from.
sure. Well, my journey is one of those like you got to pinch yourself and actually ask yourself, is this real? Because my life was just as normal as anyone else's. I've always been a little bit of an oddball. That's fine. I didn't ever march to anyone else's beat. Didn't have to, but I still was just as normal as the next person. And I was actually down at the Brazos River. I love artifacts. I love rocks. I'm a rock hounder all the way through. But anything architecturally ancient and old, or anything like that. And of course, what better place than the Brazos River, which is one of the oldest rivers in the United States, to go look for artifacts, and as well as you know dinosaur fragments and teeth and you name it. So I'm down there, and of course, I'm picking up some things. Now, keep in mind, Harvey had went through here, and it had stirred up a big mess of things. But I don't think this is where it started from. So just to backtrack a little, I think that this is something that it's already, I believe, in everyone in a sense, but there are certain things that I think can antagonize it. So after Harvey, you get a big stir up of a lot of debris in the Brazos River, especially. Black goo is a very much talked about subject, with amongst different communities. I didn't even know what it was. Never heard of it in my life. All I know is that I was at that river and I was helping with cleanup after hunting artifacts. And both times I encountered this really black tarry substance that I could not get off of my hands to save my life. And I had my friend Gilbert with me, and he still lives here. It's a horrific story too, especially the way it affected him. But this stuff would not come off the hand. It just would not come off the hands. And I finally was able to get mine off. Mine were not as bad as his, but I watched the whites of his eyes turn red. I watched his veins turn black as it traveled up his arms, into the whites of his eyeballs turn black. His veins turn black. The neck veins turn black. It was the strangest thing I've ever seen. I'm like, now keep in mind, I'm not a drinker. So I'm like, I'm hallucinating what is going on. We came out of there, and again, the second time, this tarry substance wouldn't come off. And he was, all of a sudden I saw his like eyes roll up in his head and his head go backwards. And I mean, he put his arms or hands around my neck, and I thought he was going to kill me. Okay. So I'm going to keep this as plain and simple as I can real quick, because I don't want to scare anyone. And I certainly don't have a reason to make it up, because I still had to question why is this, because, I don't understand myself. But all I know is that happened. And I just remembered this voice saying, kill him with love. You kill this with love. You got to kill this with love. And I mean, I was turning blue. He was choking me. And I was like, I love you. Jesus loves you. I'm trying to get it out of my mouth. And he's letting go as I feel his grip loosening, or, letting up, as I'm like, I love you. I love you. You're my best friend. I love you. Jesus loves you. Jesus loves you. Why are you doing this? And all of a sudden, especially using the name of Jesus, and I don't know how y'all feel about that, but I know how I feel. That's my Lord and Savior. And it's okay. Everyone's different, but it worked. That name of Jesus Christ worked. It worked. I am not dead because of that. I would have been. I'm telling you, I would have been. I still, to this day, I still talk to him, and we still, neither one of us can wrap our minds around it. But so the next following day is where things started taking a different turn. After that night and that black tarry stuff, and he went his separate way, and I mine. And next thing, I just started noticing these white fibers on some of the rocks, which I call artifacts, that I was soaking in fresh water to get them cleaned up, because they had the black tarry stuff on it as well. And I started noticing these white fibery, which people have been known to call them threads, because that's what they look like. And keep in mind, the human mind only can associate what they're seeing with something that the only known thing that they know. So if you see a long string, looks like a thread, you're going to associate it with, they call it threads or a fiber. Right. So it's not like our mind is like, oh, that's a hyphae, or that's a fungal, and so therefore the delusional part comes in, which is bull crap, because it's a psyop. But long story short, I started noticing those white fungal hyphae type fibers coming off of these rocks. And I'm videoing with my phone. I'm going close up, and I'm watching them interact with one another, and I'm watching them shoot payloads at each other. Quite literally shoot payloads of just little, I don't know, payloads is the only way to describe it. Now, at the time, I knew nothing about any type of nanotechnology, any type of fungal component other than the zombie ant virus, which this is very comparable to. And I have my whole, thoughts on that. But I'm just videoing this, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, this is the strangest thing. Next thing you know, one of those payloads and those fibers kind of like, I watch it raise itself. And literally right at my toe, it goes out of the container, the bucket, and hits my toe and disappears before I can even blink an eye. I know this sounds crazy. If someone told me this at that time, I would have thought, yep, they're bat crap crazy. Who wouldn't think that? Because that's, we grow up in a world, we think it's one way. But when you're on the receiving end, that's when things really change I guess the way you view things. So I know what I saw. I'm like, I've been in this body for many, many years. I know my body better than I know anything in this world. My body's been with me this whole time. And when you know that your body starts doing things that it hasn't done before, you know. When you know, you know. It's just like when someone's sick, they know they're sick. It's no different. When I see my body acting differently, or veins sticking out differently, or things erupting from ulcers in your body, which, could be fungal gnats. It could be the whole variety of things. Could be have the appearance of plant life, of organic and even non-organic matter, like crystalline fragments. At the end of the day, let's put it like this: nanotechnology is nanotechnology. It's very, very real. It's very real. And nano means nano, very, very tiny. So it's not like, you're going to actually see one particle. But the self-assembling is where people, get this whole thing wrong. That when they can self-assemble and form, their own weapons with payloads within them, which is what they do. And it's very real. And Sabrina Wallace talks about this as well, as does many other people, that are very, very smart individuals. What's his name? Harold Kautz from Germany. They've put their necks out forever. And it's not like it's, only one or two people. This is like, we're talking billions of people worldwide, none knowing another, saying the exact same thing. Look, my body is doing weird things. These white looking threads or fibers, because that's what we associate it with, that's all we would know, are emerging from the skin. They're moving around freely on their own. And when you go to retrieve them out, they say you self-inflicted that wound, even though you can clearly see it's an eruption with the skin, erupting outward versus inward. Now, granted, there's probably going to be some tweezer marks too, because if you're growing a Thanksgiving turkey in your arm, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to leave that there. It's like you got a finger in your nose where you're going to pick it out. The doctor's got his knuckle deep finger in his nose. I'm like, you better remove that, or that's self-inflicted wounds, butthole. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So we're gaslit from heaven. So
my poor daddy,
bizarre.
My poor daddy died of brain cancer, and we didn't realize that a year or so before he had started. Like, he would take a magnifying glass. He thought there was bugs crawling on him. He would take the magnifying glass and tweezers and pull out what looked like strands of carpet fibers. And for a long time, I think we thought he was just pulling out like ingrown hairs. And before you know it, the next thing you know, he had brain cancer. Yeah. I have a cousin with Morgellons right now.
So it is, here's the deal. And I don't know any other way to say it other than we're all breathing the same stuff. We are, right? And it just takes one. Okay, so say you get a piercing, right? A lot of people are allergic to golds and metals, right? And some bodies will actually spit those piercings out, and it'll work its way to the surface, right? Well, that's what Morgellons is doing with some of us. So It's not like poor us. It's more like poor whoever's not. But it's a horrible thing. It's a humiliating thing. It's a degrading thing. It's a gaslighting all over the page type of thing. And it's nobody's dying any differently. We're gonna live. We're gonna die. It is what it is. On that, we weren't promised tomorrow. But the thing is, we've lived this long, but we all have it in us. But some of our bodies remember who they are, who remember where they came from, and are rejecting the synthetic, man-made shit, excuse my French, and it's going out our skin because we reject it. And don't think that doesn't go without herxing. If you eject and reject too much of it at one time, it'll make you very physically ill, because it's just like taking, say a drug addict take the drugs away all at once, right? Well, when you have this nanotech and heavy metals or whatever in your body, if you do something to make it leave your body all at once, you're going to go through that same type of, it's called herxing, or not. Well, I guess you can compare that to a withdrawal maybe. But the thing is, it'll make you very ill, and people have been known to die. And your daddy's brain cancer, I wish I would have known you then. I would have said, give him some ivermectin, and he would be here. I'm sorry. That breaks my heart. Because my sister had heart cancer recently. She's 8 years younger than me. And I knew immediately. Immediately, it's like ivermectin. You get the girl ivermectin, And I'm telling you, I have a
Well, and
sister-in-law that has
see,
walnut cancer right here. She's even younger. She had it
the
in her 20s.
crazy the
So
crazy part was everybody in our neighborhood for a 2 mile stretch, we were all eat up with cancer. Like he had
yeah,
lymphoma, then he had brain cancer. I had Hodgkin's lymphoma. My niece had lymphoma. The neighbor had, what was it? She had kidney cancer. We had another neighbor with like lung cancer. It was just like every house was riddled with it. And
yeah,
I can guarantee you we were all on well water and there was something in that well water that was
it's in
spreading it
everyone.
among us all. Yeah.
Keep in mind, though, cancer. Nobody ever asks what is cancer. They go in and we're told
Parasites.
you got cancer, but nobody actually asked when you dug that mass out of my body, what was within it. Don't worry, it's either benign or malignant or blah blah blah. But we're never actually aware of what it is, and I'm telling you that's your body, trying to bundle up those toxicities,
Yeah.
the heavy metals, and of course you're going to get some blockages, and the most important areas of your body that's a priority to keep it functioning on a living and breathing level. And just like with after the roller up your sleever with the white strands of that they're pulling out of the arteries that died suddenly and today and every day, kind of situation. Read between the lines there, hopefully. But yeah, that is all the same type of culprit we're looking at. It's a buildup of all of the toxicities. They call it plastics, but it's not plastics. The way, I mean, if you look under the stuff, look under
Trash.
a microscope, all you have to do is take one look under a microscope, and you will clearly see. I mean, you can just look at your own self, and I recommend everyone get a skin microscope. And remember though that I say this not for a fear reason. Like we were not given a spirit of fear. This is nothing to be fearful of. If anything, this should be the most helpful information anyone receives, because awareness is everything, and awareness spreads truth, and it's a ripple effect to once knowledge is spread, it is powerful, and everything light devours the dark. So when there's light there, darkness can't exist. But so again, I don't say any of this out of a fear factor type thing, I should say. Again, had you asked me at any point in my life up until about probably 15 years ago about the thing that happened with my friend's hands wrapped around my neck, or watching him turn into basically a human zombie, I would have said, no way on God's green earth. There are no such thing as monsters. There's no such thing as everything I was I was raised with, just like everyone else, just the same. I am no different. Until one day I was proven differently. I was proven wrong, and I was told never say never, because everything and anything is possible. And I am not the deciding factor in that. I am absolutely not. And we were told straight up, point blank, Satan's the ruler, the leader, the principalities of evil in the air, here on earth, and all around. And there's so many other factors, and we have misinterpreted the Bible in so many ways, as
Oh
far as I'm
yeah.
concerned. And it's been purposely many portions left out where it would have fit nicely into place and made things make a heck of a lot more sense had they not done
Yep.
so. It was done with great purpose. So I know that was a whole cluster mess of
Okay.
much information, but you know what I'm saying, right?
Right. I know you're not crazy, because I have had a very, very similar situation happen to me not that long ago. So, being attacked by someone you love and they're not there. And, and it's interesting that you brought up, like, one of the things that you brought up about seeing it like shooting out like
Payloads,
that. Yeah, when with my testimony, that was what I saw and witnessed and was feeling. Like I had this, what I called city structures of nanotech growing in me in my visions, and I could feel it, and I could feel it all. Like the payload was the best way to describe it. It just all coming out of my hands, and I could feel it and I could see it. And of course, no one else could see it. It's just me going through my visions, but like I felt it and I could see it. And when you said that, I was like, No
Yeah,
way. That's the first time I've heard anybody say that.
it's
And then that happened to you in real
it's
time.
true. That's I mean, your vision is absolutely correct, and it's all scientifically patented on top of that. So that's the funniest, most ironic, most gaslighting portion of this all is here doctors are calling it delusional, but that's because they can't code it because, well, the CDC is in on it. If you got your long arm of the law government, and it's not even government, because keep in mind they're puppeted. You've got some dark shadow type cabal type evil hands leading this world, and you know the most wealthy in the world. There you go. That's what I use right there is the horse paste. I take a toothpaste size amount on my finger, but I'm not a doctor and I don't, I would never give that advice. So but yeah, it's coming from, there's a reason doctors cannot. But here's the funny thing, I have found doctors and nurses recently especially that you look at them and you're like, look, and I know that what I'm telling you I have is real. So with no questions asked and nothing said to answer back, I said, just give me a script for what I need. And especially one doctor down the road here, finally I got through to someone and writes it out. Here's your doxycycline for 2 week supply, and here's your cortisol or whatever. It's an antifungal skin, for a week supply. So doctors know. I'm a private investigator. That's what my profession is. A lot of my clients are, wouldn't you know, so this is how I actually was able to finally find doctors that listened, because when they're my clients and I'm doing their, a job that they hired me to do, and I'm productive at it, they start speaking to you. And so come to find out, they're all well aware of it. They all know it's real, every one of them, but they'll lose their job. They'll lose their medical license, everything they went to school for. They will lose it in a New York second.
I
But
have
so long
had them
story
to get
short,
up
many
and leave the
clients,
room.
that's how I got the help
Yes,
finally.
you had a
I went in one day. I have to go to my cancer doctor every month because the one I had is very prevalent to come back. So they monitor blood, I don't care, whatever. I go every month. We're going to watch his blood work every month. I get to see it. That's all I care about. So I go in there a few months ago, and every month it's a new PA. You get to see the doctor like twice a year. She come in and she sat down. She's like, "Your blood work looks fantastic. What are you doing?" I said, "Ivermectin." She's like, "Oh, well, even your cholesterol looks good. What are you doing?" "Ivermectin."
You're welcome.
She literally looked at me. A cancer doctor looked at me and said, "What's ivermectin?" First off, you just told me
Don't
you
worry,
don't
you'll
need to
find
be in
out.
charge of none of my damn health care because you are an idiot. You need to go be
Keep in mind, they're all
re-educated.
scratching each other's backs as well. So one hand's feeding the other, and it only makes sense. But
I tried to
yeah,
tell the
that's
doctor
what
one time that
it's a cure all, I
H
swear.
negative blood is copper based, and he told me I was stupid.
My
That I didn't.
daughter's RH negative, and I am not. Um, so there's a lot of that could be a whole nother podcast, by the way, because there's a
oh,
lot of different factor things involved
yeah,
there as well. But
she's RH
Yeah,
negative. I
I
oh
had
yeah,
still
some
don't
weird
know
anomalies.
because guess what, guys? They can lie to you, or sorry, they're not sure if their tests are accurate about your blood type. And it
yeah,
is not, it's almost impossible for them to
oh yeah.
give it to you.
Yeah, like I just did a documentary on my channel about the living blood. I don't know if y'all saw that, but it's called The Living Blood. There's power in the blood, and I go into the Epstein files and then Pizzagate, and as well as transfusions and the vampire cannibalistic type, all of that. It all interconnects. It's in there, as well as family
Yeah, that's
members that
what.
might have been straight at one point and went another way the other. It's because my daughter is one of those, and you'll see if you see that video, it'll explain a lot. But that cellular memory is flipping real, folks. That's all I got for you. But it is a very real, and I delve deep. I've been researching that for probably over 14 years. And I finally put one of the videos out. I've got a series I'm working on still. I've got 3 more that are almost done, but I'm only putting one at a time to not overwhelm people. So my first one was my own personal testimony with, I touched base lightly on that, but blood is everything. And so this right here oxygenates the blood, and it helps with the mitochondria. And life is in the blood. It is written in the Bible. It is scripture verse for verse, and that actually was written correctly, but translated properly. And even if you go into the Ethiopian, scripture and all of the books, and many others that were left out, but life is in the blood. There's power in the blood, and when you transhumanism's transhuman, when you're playing tic-tac-toe and connects whatever it is, that game where you're exchanging body parts or whatever, you're gonna have a little confusion and a little mess on your hands. And I don't know if you guys do get a chance to go to my channel and look at that, though. Hopefully you'll understand, but I don't know. I could probably have done better on it, but it was very overwhelming to even make it.
And your channel's name is
Waking God's Child.
Yes, you can find her on YouTube. And, just excellent information. She also does stuff too. She'll go outside like Roxy and us and look at stuff in the sky and go, ooh,
I take it right now. They're already out there.
Like, this is not normal. Yeah. So
you guys see that too?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. You guys, okay. Wow. Okay. So I am not alone on this journey, because I'm telling you, it doesn't matter when I go outside, there they are. Good to know. I feel better.
They have made us feel isolated and alone for all of our lives. And now we're all finding each other thanks to the Most High. So because we got work to do.
Oh, snap. I'll tell you what, though, like tonight, even they did not want me getting on here. I have used, this is the same laptop I use for work, for everything. This is the go, like it's used all the time I never have issues, except for when I go to do either certain podcast, when Candy was still living. So I would always know when I was right on the topic, because I could not get on, or when I was close, or, I always had problems getting on. But tonight, you have no idea. It was like an act of God, like for real. The Holy Spirit is the only reason I got on here, because I was locked out of everything. And I'm like, what is going on? Oh, that's a dumb question. So to God be the glory. To God be the glory. That's all I can say, right?
Oh, I
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's a crazy world we're living in, and we don't have to understand, but we have to be more patient and kind and loving to one another, because I think love is the problem, but love is also the answer.
Absolutely.
And that's where we all might need to work on that some.
We got to stop letting them divide us. Kent
100%.
was asking a question if we knew any good things to substitute. He's had a bunch of back surgery, neck surgery, going through a lot of pain, and he said cannabis won't help him. He's had fusions in his lower back.
I have chronic back pain. My mom's had several surgeries. I was hit by a semi in November, hit and run, threw me for a loop. I've been going through physical therapy, but I can't imagine the kind of pain that you're speaking of, because just this is a lot, and I don't need surgery. But my mom, all I could tell you is be careful on the surgeries, because sometimes they make it worse. But I would say prayer. I would say faith-based prayer. That's, to me, that has, the ivermectin helped me with certain things, but I really have to give God the glory on really being alive still, because it's when I let go and I let him is when I really got better. So I'll pray. There's power in prayer. Lots of prayer.
A really good thing too is diet. You want a diet that has the most anti-inflammatory properties as possible, because the inflammation is, a big part of where that pain is coming from. And your whole body can help to regenerate more when it's a little bit more on a alkaline basis. Like, you want to have a pH balance.
Well, see, that's what the methylene blue does.
Right.
It helps to balance your pH as well.
Maybe that's what he needs to try. Is, again, I bought the Acti Blue. I got this off of Amazon. And I only did this. There's lots of different brands. I did this one because it came highly recommended, and I was looking for the FDA approved, which I don't know if that means crap, honestly. But what you want to make sure is that, you just don't want it to have a lot of impurities. And of course, you would hope they wouldn't have any, but that would be impossible. But you could try that. I mean, I think you're right there, Roxy. The whole purpose of tonight's video is you're talking about blue, and this came to mind.
Well,
And
and
this
well,
is a
and
good
this
part of that.
that Dr. Anderson, when he's talking in there, he talks about the benefits of what methylene blue can do to patients who are even post chemo.
Yeah,
Because when we
there's
had
a lot of
chemo,
that.
well, there was a lot of organ damage. Regardless of where your cancer was at, it still caused damage to your liver, your kidneys, your
Repairs
bone
the
marrow.
cellular structure. Yeah.
Yeah, and that will actually go in and
That's
let your
wonderful.
body start the process of equaling back out to actually repair the damage that was done by chemo or
I
any
have
other
some
damage.
information on that too. You're right, though. Yeah. I think Roxy's nailed it with tonight's topic, even, and maybe he's the reason. There's reasons that things like this
Maybe
come
so.
together.
Mike, I think
So
this would do you some good too with your breathing, buddy, with your lungs.
yeah, I
I'm
would
not a
recommend
doctor,
everyone.
but our family, we call them our family, our crowd out there in the audience. We have such a good crowd that's here every week. We all kind of know each other's health problems. And that's one of the things we're trying to do is trying to help each other be healthier. And y'all can hear I'm still fighting the flu 3 weeks later.
I woke up with it this morning. My daughter's on her 11th week of the bronchitis. So I hope you get to feeling better, because I woke up with just the congestion part this morning. You probably don't know my voice normally, but it's
Did
bad right
you
now.
did you guys get hit hard in Texas with the snow as well? See,
Not the
I
streams,
don't.
with the
Right,
air quality.
I was gonna ask you actually if you had seen a lot of those videos circulating around with what they had found in the fake snow.
Well, I had
and
the icicles, and I looked in my icicles under the microscope, and oh yeah, it's the same stuff that's inside of me.
right. And I know that
100%.
the fog and rain out here, and it's like everybody's sick, and I'm like, does it have
My
anything to do with
car
it?
was covered in a layer of that 3 nights ago.
So,
I was driving to my surveillance point, and that's when I started getting sick. So, but it was all over my car, a thick film, and it wasn't raining, and it's still on the car. So, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on up there. There's a lot going on. But this also is good for the immune system. So there you go. So, you know what? Again, though, I think prayer at the end of the day is always a good thing to do anyway and have. But when there's more of us together, it's a frequency, and it makes a strong signal. That's kind of how I see it. So the more of us praying for one another and coming together, I think is a beautiful. I'm honestly fail-proof situation.
Right. And Roxy, you were mentioning earlier to me, right, that there was nervous system benefits to this.
there's nothing in your body that I could find that it doesn't benefit. It increases your neural pathways. It works on Alzheimer's, dementia. You name a problem, and
Yeah.
methylene blue helps to correct it. Not just not just give you a temporary correction. It is a long term fixing your DNA.
Yeah. The only thing I noticed was temporary was just my the mental clarity. But I think the reason being is because you get that direct rush, right? When you first take it, it doesn't mean it's not still working over time. I mean, I've been on it on and off for like a year, because with what I have, or what they, whatever you want to call it, I think it would work for anyone, is you always want to change your protocols up. Keep whatever is debilitating you on its toes. Constantly keep it, because you can build immunities. Well, they can build immunities too. I mean, bacteria has the same type of equipment going on where it can build up a tolerance just the same as you can. So the whole
Yep.
trick, anything, is keeping them on their toes, keeping it on its toes and changing it up. Don't get too in the habit of doing it routinely for too long, because the surprise attack is what our military uses, and it also works on the body as well. So I'm
Right?
just saying.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
I didn't say that out loud, but I sure did. I'm an ex-military wife. I was married to a SEAL team guy for 13 years, 15 years, divorced now. We were married 15 years, but went contract, 3-letter word government after that. So you can do the math there. And then I became immediately targeted right after that whenever we parted ways. So 1 + 1 = 2. So yeah,
Yep.
my story in a nutshell. But I wouldn't trade it. I would trade a few choices, but you know, what you gonna do?
Lessons and blessings. That's the way we look at it.
That's right.
Aha, it's another shirt.
Blessings in the storm. Blessings and blessings. I like that. That was cute. You need to make a shirt like that.
Where's my hoodie? One of these days.
I
I'm
love
gonna
it. Lessons and blessings, and it's perfect.
Well, that's
Roxy
what
said,
life's about. It was either a lesson you needed to learn or it was a blessing. But either way, it was still a blessing because now you have the experience
yes,
and the knowledge, which creates wisdom. So lessons are still blessings. You got to find
every
the
bit of
glimmer,
it.
not the trigger.
You're right. I wouldn't change any. I would rather go through everything I've been through again, even than to be anywhere near like what I see around me these days, if
Oh,
that
yeah.
makes sense as well. You know what I mean? It's like, no, I'm good.
I do not
I'm
want to be a
fine.
normie. Like I do not want to
Right?
be a normie.
I tried that for like a
What would you
second
do?
in elementary school. It did not work for me. It just was like, no.
Like I don't even leave house anymore.
Everyone saw right through me.
I'm
They're
just
like,
not
"We
crazy
know
about running into other normies out there, and I'm like, what are you supposed to talk about? I don't even understand what these people have
I
conversations
call
about.
it the most mundane, idle chatter I've ever heard in my life. I cannot. I literally can't. This is bad, but I can't be around people because I just look at them like, what is wrong with you?
You know what I
And I
hear,
mean,
Lisa?
I just can't do
I
it.
hear Charlie Brown's teacher. Wah 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 wah
Wah,
wah
wah,
wah
wah,
wah
wah,
wah
wah,
wah
wah,
wah.
wah. Yeah, that's
That's all I
exactly.
hear.
I'm gonna be nice now. I'm telling you, yes, I amen to that one too. Because
good
I
thing
mean,
you
I
guys
literally sit home
work in
alone.
a
I'd
hair
rather
salon.
because of that. So
Good
Right?
thing
Like
you
if
guys don't work in a hair salon because it's a
girl, have
lot
you
I
of
did
seen all of
hair
this
for
hair?
years.
I
I
don't
still
go
do
to
my
hair
whole family's
salons.
hair, but nope, nope. Private investigation is a good job, by the way, ladies. Your car's your office, your home's your bed, your car's your workplace, your office, your everything, and you don't see a soul all day long except for your subject, and you're basically just spying. So, but you know
See,
what? Observation is everything because you can read body language. You can see a lot about a person. This goes for anyone. You can tell if they're sick. You can tell if they're emotionally distraught. You can, and I'm an observational type of person anyway. I'm very observant on anything. Well, especially the sky. But I mean, you know, like I know you ladies have that intuition about you where you can just tell if someone's having a hard day or there's something not right. But I mean, it is a good thing my car is my office because otherwise I know where that postal, where people go postal, phrase comes from because that'd probably be me, maybe,
See,
probably
I've
not.
thought
But
about the whole private investigator thing. I've always thought that would be something I'd love to do, but
yeah,
evidently in my state, it's like an act of Congress to get into that occupation.
it is an who you know type. It's all about who you know, and the only reason I am in my possession or profession. Luckily, I have a bit of a surveillance detection background from who I was married to before, if that makes sense,
Yeah.
and works alongside him, a bit, and so that was the only reason that it was easier for me to break through and do that. I have my own company. I process serves, basically legal assistance type stuff. So notary of the public, process serving, private investigations,
Well,
all.
I used to be the repo lady. I absolutely adored going to steal cars for a living.
I'll
It
tell you
was,
what, that's next on my list. You need to come on. We need to come on with it. So we need to
girl,
do
I
some
love repoing cars. I know it's horrible to be taking people's stuff because they can't pay for it,
That's
but there is
hilarious.
nothing better in the world than to be 5'5". Like
Sorry about your luck.
well,
No.
I'm topped out at 5'5", driving a snatch truck, and you roll up in the middle of somewhere and just roll up, and just
You're the tiny little girl, and they're like, "Who does she think she is?"
and then you jump out and you barely reach the mirror on the tow truck.
Go ahead, sock it to me.
Bring it
I love
on.
it. Tough
See,
girl. I love it.
I'd much rather be the occult specialist in the police department, the one they call
You'd be
up.
good at it too. That would
That
be a
would
good.
be,
Well,
that
I
would
think
be
we just
great.
need to come together and bring our powers like that we all have, and we could have a heck of a force
We
going
do
on
this
here. Oh yeah. It sounds like everyone's got their own thing that could complement each other very well. What do you guys say? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's
I'm
get her
telling you.
done.
Looking for a few good men. So women. Looking for a few good women. That's gonna be. You know what? We just need our reality show here and show them how it's done.
Yep.
How you can actually solve the real things that matter in life, right? So
Yeah,
all of
brother.
those things that you guys got going on work perfectly for this too. So
Yeah.
telling you.
You got me watching the show Supernatural, and all I keep thinking to myself, I mean, of course, I would be doing things different in the name of Jesus and rebuking stuff, and like
It's crazy watching it.
the way they freaking take these things down, I'm like, oh, this is ridiculous. But I'm just like, why can't I do that for a living? Why can't I go around everywhere and rebuking
You
stuff?
can
that
do
they-
anything
We
you
are.
want to do.
and I'm like, and
What
get
do you
paid for it.
What's that?
Well, we might not be making no money off of this, but we're doing that.
Yeah, sure.
That's exactly right. We are doing that. I mean, and we're doing it for the good fight. But you know,
Right.
the thing is,
And
we
these
do have to
characters-
survive. But you know, there
Yeah.
are ways. You know, we need to talk. That's all I know. We all the three of. I have the feeling. So I mean, I've got my company already, but I'm thinking. I've told myself I need some partners forever and a day. Just like, my wheels are turning to say the least. But
Well, girl,
I don't know.
it
I
is
think that there's some cool things that could be done, honestly. And I've
absolutely.
in my mind there forever. So
So
Well-
we can really just officially call ourselves demon hunters. It's like fun.
yes, not Charlie's Angels. Don't do that one.
No.
I'm not on board with Charlie's Angels. So I'm just kidding. Demon hunters. I like that. Huntresses.
Huntresses, there you go.
Huntress. Hunty hunt.
You're saying no. What is no?
Huntress.
Roxy.
I'm
love
reading.
it.
I'm trying to read the chat, guys.
McNornies. Wait, what does it say?
McNormies.
McNorries.
Yeah, I haven't gone there in forever. That's why.
Love it. That's awesome. You know, girls could dream. We can dream, and we can do too. Hold my drink and watch this crap or something like that. I heard that a time or
Amen.
two. So
Listen, just
Oh my
letting you know, if we're ever out anywhere and I look at you and tell you to hold my drink,
I'll
Get
duck
your
for
phone.
run for cover.
get your phone ready because
No, then I'm gonna be
I'm
like,
gonna
oh,
need bail
need
money.
backup.
Here we go, girlfriend. Well, now I got a Sony camcorder. I'll have it right here, ready to go. I'm like pulling a
World
shooter.
star.
And I'm gonna be like, let's go.
She goes, I'm ready. She pulls out a hockey stick or a cane, and I'm gonna pull out my Sony camcorder like a 6-shooter. We're good.
My
Jesse
my
Venus.
walking lady.
She's petting it.
All right, ladies. We're gonna let these poor people go tonight.
Down
They've
with
probably
it,
heard
down
enough
with
of us cackling.
I love it. I love it. You guys are like, okay, I feel better. I'm not the only window licker in the group. So I do
Girl,
lick
we
me
licking
some-
windows time we get up in the morning. Just
You
seeing
know
what
what?
kind of
You
chemicals
got to
is
be able to
left on
laugh.
them.
You have to be able to laugh. So, which is why I do some of my puppet skits, which is basically my hand, and I'm talking to my hand now that I think about it. Yeah, it's a puppet, but yeah, I mean, you got to laugh. You do. You got to have ways
Yeah.
to laugh. And if you know,
We
if you
normally
can't laugh, make
suggest
somebody else
before-
laugh. So.
Well, we normally suggest that most of our viewers roll one before they ever start an episode with us, especially
Roll
on a
two.
Thursday
I need.
night.
I love it.
And if you
I
notice
love
the
it.
camera go off and it just goes to an avatar, somebody
Is
is
that what we're
probably
doing? Nobody
partaking.
told me that. hold on a second. No, I'm just gonna take a
Oh,
drink.
dang it, Roxy, you're telling my secrets.
And mine's just Coca-Cola. The worst thing I could be drinking right now. But yeah, okay, that makes sense. Okay, so I'm like, I just see them go blank here and there. I'm like, where'd she go? Where'd she go? So,
Well,
yep,
sometimes it's honestly to look at my phone because my daughter's messaging me or something, and I'm like, I don't want to be like, "Hi guys." Like,
my daughter just messaged. How old's your daughter? How old is your daughter?
18.
Mine just turned. Well, mine will be 20 in August. So my youngest, but yeah, and she's the one that just texts me. So they're so neat sometimes, but they don't want anything to do with me most of the time. So,
how old is your daughter?
My oldest is 31, and then
mine's
you have
31.
Oh,
you have 1 year age and 1 year age. Oh my god! Or, wow. Yeah, I mean, I was. You look at me with bedroom eyes, and it was all over for me. You didn't even have to do the act. It was just like, bam, you're pregnant. You're welcome. So,
girl, let me tell you how pregnant Roxy is. I had a child on February 3rd, 1995. When I went back for my checkup, February 27th, I was pregnant again. I didn't carry him but 29 weeks.
Okay, that is pretty close.
They are 6.5 months apart.
No,
with mine, I still have a almost 16-year-old, but I got some good news. It's good news.
You're gonna be a grandmother?
Oh, not there yet. But my daughter did just get engaged this Sunday.
Aww,
so
congratulations.
It's a plan wedding.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm a grandma, so now I'm really embarrassed that I blurted that out. I'm a grandma too. I want to say.
Roxy's a grandma. I'm ready to go home. I'm ready to be home. I say bring it. I'm ready.
I think they are the best things ever. I'm not gonna lie. My daughter started young. I started young. Like I said, you just look at me with bedroom eyes. And it's like, you are welcome. You are a child. Like, yep, I sure is. So, I mean, he's in the military. I think he's like literally deployed for 6-8 months at a time. Comes home, it's like, bam, she's pregnant. Like every dang time, it is a female. Like I got so tortured. It wasn't all 4 females, 4 daughters. So yeah, and that's not fair at all because 5 of us in the house, he's gone. It's like World War III every day. So
you could be like my cousin with 7 daughters.
Oh no, thank you.
Not 7 daughters.
4 was a.
I always laugh.
I'm surprised I have any hair left, and I'm still got one that's still very much clingy and needy. So she's my last one, and then it'll be. Well, I mean, she's out. She's in college. Or she's in needless school is what I call it. Needless higher education. That's what I call it anyway. But whatever.
Mine went and got a pharmacy degree and she's a cop.
That's good. She can sell drugs and make false arrests. Let's do it. Let's do it. Where do we go? I mean, that's actually a good girl to know right there. So we're going to flip this table today, guys.
Absolutely.
I can't wait. I love it. You guys are going to be perfect for this job. No, I'm just kidding, though, but I'm not. I actually mean it. You don't even know if I'm serious or not, do you? No, I'm serious.
That's okay. You got to keep us all on our toes.
So she's got a daughter that, come on, more the merrier. I love it.
I'm like, look, we're already all on lists, so we got to just play, got to do some bluffs every now and then, guys.
Listen, I hope I'm on all of them lists.
Yep.
I just want to see her like you with that cane that you're petting, and you're like, just when I say hold my tree, go watch this, get your camera out. I'm like, okay, maybe it is it's not the Charlie's Angels, it's like the Blue Angels on crack or something. Here we come. Watch out.
She's coming out. She's coming out here to California for the first time next month, so it's gonna be. We're gonna be
you guys will have a ball.
filming a lot of shenanigans, and
that's awesome.
She's got her bail money, needs, and
Bell money? Did you say she's got her bell money?
she's got her bail money needs, and I'm gonna just try and charm them with my. But you wouldn't arrest a cripple, would you?
I love this. This is the perfect scenario here. I love it. I wish I could be a fly on the wall when you two get together. That's fun.
Well, we're going to be recording a lot of it, so
you'll have to share it. Yeah.
Oh,
yes. You guys will have an amazing
It will be
time.
a reality adventure in and of itself.
I literally would love to see that. That you guys will have a ball. That's awesome. Good for you.
Girl, I'm from the Bible Belt, and I'm going to California.
I know. I was living in Missouri forever before here, and then I'm from New Mexico. But yeah, I was from the Bible Belt, and you're going to California. Hold on for the ride, sister. I lived in Fountain Valley for 2 years.
They don't even know what they're in for, because I'm going to talk to everybody about everything. Everything.
You let them know. You just let them know. Make sure they know. Good girl. Good girl. I love it.
Tell them
like it is.
Entertainment for me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just gonna
fun.
be like, I love this every second.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna be giggling.
I think you guys will have the best time ever. You definitely compliment each other very much. So I think that's awesome. Good for you, girls.
Well, thank you so much for coming on with us tonight. We
no
had an
problem.
blast.
I didn't have too much to offer, but I appreciate you all very much.
We loved it. We loved it.
You rocked this show.
Absolutely. We will have to make this a regular thing.
Look at me go. No, just kidding. Yeah, no, can you do that? No. Yeah, no. Okay, yeah, I just did that out loud, but that's okay. That's okay. You guys
Go lick another window. It'll all be all right.
Be right back. I got a Crayola over there that's waiting for my nostril. Hold on. Hold my drink and watch this stuff. All right, ladies. Have a good night, and I will talk to you soon.
Yes, we got to have you back on. So
thank you. Yeah, this is my first back on air since Candy's passing. So you ladies really uplifted my spirits too. I really appreciate you, all of you, very much. So blessings and much love, and stay blue.
Much love. Everybody do some blue.
Try and get my number to you too, because
yes, do. I actually tried to get in touch with you after that when you were on. Well, when you replied to one of the comments. Right? No, the video. I don't know what you did. You licked the window back, so I licked the window back at you. So, and I tried to tell you my number, but I don't know if I really
I couldn't hear it. I was like, because of the distortion, and I kept trying to play it back, and I was like, no, I can't do it.
Exactly. So exactly. I probably like Crayolas in my ears. So.
Yeah, and I kept bugging Daniel. He's like, I don't know if I have her number. And I'm like, Daniel.
Yeah, I had talked to you one time when you and Daniel, you had a different number at one time. I don't remember. All I know is I don't think it's yours anymore because I texted it one day and no, it wasn't you guys.
Okay. I will get you my number, girl.
Who this? Who that? That's what I
just texted you. I just texted it to you, Shannon.
Yay!
Okay. So yeah, holler, both of you, and let me know if you're ready to go to work and go kick some booty. We'll be the new superheroes of town. So
let's get
not
it.
Really. A girl can dream. So all right, I'm out. Love you guys. Bye.
Love you. Good night.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for joining us. We will see you again.